Deputy, you have a very interesting remote parliamentary voting private members bill. Now this would benefit new mothers, new fathers, those that might be unwell and staying at home. Give us the gist of what your private members bill is about and where it's likely to go from here.
Well, we discussed it with the Oireachtas Women's Caucus yesterday, and it's a private member's bill to change the constitution to remove the absolute requirement to be in Leinster House to vote. It's a privilege to be in Leinster House to vote, but there are certain circumstances where you might need a bit more flexibility. If you're going through chemotherapy treatment and you're immunocompromised, if you've just given birth to a baby, to provide the flexibility for maternity. And also, as we've seen, we know now that emergencies can happen and they can shut down our systems. We can have a responsibility now to future-proof our Parliament for the next emergency, whether that's 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 years from now. But this is a big barrier to the participation of women in politics. It's a barrier to maternity and indeed paternity leave for supportive fathers who want to spend more time at home in the early weeks. It was great support from the Oireachtas Women's Caucus yesterday. I'm hoping that this bill will be taken forward by the caucus, not just by me. It's stronger and better if it's all of us doing it together. So I was delighted with the support yesterday, and let's have that conversation.
Right.
And this bill doesn't provide a free-for-all that you can stay home and have a duvet day because you don't feel like it. This is about giving the standing orders, the houses of the Oireachtas, the power to make rules for very specified and very limited circumstances where you could apply to have a period of 2 or 3 months or 6 months, whatever that may be, because of a particular circumstance. And it allows the houses to make those rules and change them as needs be over time. So it's really to just remove that barrier and give a degree of flexibility. But it's certainly not to provide for TDs having duvet days or anything close to it. It's much more serious and sober than that. But look, I think it'd be great if we took this forward. We had the conversation at second stage. We don't have to take it all the way to the end. We don't need to have a referendum on this. I'm not calling for that. What I'm saying is let's take it to second stage and let's really just have the conversation and see what's the best we can do to address these different issues.
But ultimately, are we looking at a referendum? If this is contained, if it's enshrined in the Constitution, ultimately, is that not where we need to go on this one?
Yes. That's what would have to happen eventually, but that doesn't have to happen within the next 6 months or the next 12 months. That can happen when it's right, when it's convenient for the country to do that. I'm not suggesting we do that today or tomorrow, but we can go a long way with the bill and really tease it out and make sure that we are ready if and when that opportunity comes up. Because exactly. I've been elected by the people of Dunleary, and I'm the only woman actually elected out of the 4 TDs there. And it's a privilege to turn up and vote. But in the pandemic, at the early stages, we weren't sure if that was the right thing for individuals or if it was the right thing for the country for us to be travelling in and out to do that. So to provide the facility, the flexibility, the future proof of this kind for a future emergency, to my mind, is just a prudent thing to do. But, similarly, if I had just had a baby, or indeed, Neil Richmond or Alan Dillon or Martin Hayden, all of whom have had babies in the last while, why do they actually need to be there at 9 o'clock on a Wednesday, 10 o'clock on a Wednesday, 11 o'clock on a Wednesday to vote, when for a period when their child is particularly small and their partner needs additional support, that they could be at home doing that vote remotely? We've got to move things forward a bit.
Oh, well, talk